And we are live. So today we're going to be talking about bands versus dumbbells and which is the right option for you. So what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the pros and cons of each piece of equipment and how then you can decide which one is the right decision for you. If you have questions, let me know in the chat. What I thought we would do, or what we're going to do, is look at one exercise with both pieces of equipment and talk about what the pros are and what the cons are. So that exercise is going to be a bent over row and a standing row as the two variations of a row exercise with each piece of equipment. So we're going to start by talking about dumbbells. So using a rowing exercise, I'm going to talk about a little bit with the dumbbell. So what are the cons with the dumbbell? Let's start with that first. So one of the cons is that they are a more expensive option. So each dumbbell adds to the cost, especially if you don't know what weight you should be going at for a particular exercise. You don't know what's going to be challenging for you. You have to buy it first and see if that's the right weight. So they can get very expensive very quickly because of that. Usually a dumbbell is, let's say a 10-pound dumbbell is 10, 15 bucks. A 40-pound dumbbell is over $40 usually. So they can get very expensive. The other thing about them is, let's say I'm doing a bent over row. So I want to be working my upper back with this exercise. Here's the issue with dumbbells is in this position and a lot of exercises with the dumbbells, secondary joints, like my lower back in this position, have to be strong too. So I'm not just working the upper back, my lower back can be a limiting factor in this, where if I have low back pain or if I have a weaker lower back, that can limit me. So that's the second con, is sometimes they can be more stressful on your secondary joints other than just the primary muscles we want to be working. And number three is they're pretty heavy. Just if you were to drop them, things can happen in the gym. I've heard of one time this centerpiece cracked and it hit someone and broke their teeth. Those things can happen with the dumbbells. They're pretty durable, but if they drop, they can be a little bit more dangerous and intimidating, especially if you're just starting out. So if you're not used to using them, you have to be careful with them for sure. So those are sort of three cons of the dumbbells, but there's also really good things about the dumbbells. So some of the pros are, let's say for this exercise, I have a very even force curve all the way through because they're always that same weight. So gravity is constantly pulling down and I get a very consistent force curve or a very consistent pull on the dumbbells. So that's a more effective workload for that muscle. So it's the same here as it is here. And that's really beneficial for hypertrophy typically, because that lower position, that stretch position, is where we build that muscle more effectively. So that's one pro for the dumbbell. Very even, consistent work. Also, they're really versatile and easy to find exercises for. Most exercises you can use a dumbbell and be just fine. You can find tutorials on how to do it. You can find instruction on how to use them. They're very versatile. They can do a wide range of exercises very easily. So that's number two on the pro side. Number three is they're very durable. You can buy them once and they last a long time. Sometimes they can outlast you. They can be very durable, very long lasting if you take care of them. Don't drop them, don't just, bang them up. They'll last you a long time. So those are three pros of the dumbbells. Now let's talk a little bit about resistance bands. Now, I'm going to start with the cons of the resistance bands. versus the dumbbells, the bands are not as durable. They're just like a rubber band, a piece of elastic. So eventually they do wear out and you have to replace them. That's just a nature of it. It's like a rubber band. If you keep on stretching it and stretching it, eventually it gets frayed and will wear out. That is one problem with the resistance bands. They won't last quite as long. The other thing is that typically it's harder to set up exercises. Let's talk about this row exercise. I'd need a pole or something to anchor it to, and then I'd have to make sure I have enough space. So I'm gonna set it up in a different way. So if I'm doing this row, I need to set it up with an anchor point, make sure it's pulling the correct direction. I might need to adjust the height a little bit more. It's a little bit more finicky trying to get it to be pull the correct direction and work well for you. So they can be a little bit more challenging because they take a little more expertise or a little more instruction to get right, as opposed to the dumbbell, much more versatile, easy, and simple. So a little bit more complicated from that. The third thing with them is their resistance curve is not as optimal. So right here, very little resistance and pull, but as I pull back, it increases more and more the further I get from that pull. So ideally, I would want this part to be really hard and this part to be a little easier, but it doesn't work like that with resistance bands. They only go easier to harder. Now, you can still benefit from using them. You can still build strength and you can still build muscle, but you might find it a bit more fatiguing to use resistance bands doing the same workout because of that increased load as you pull on them. Now, what are the benefits of resistance bands? So they're so much less expensive than dumbbells. Let me just start by saying that, because I think a full set of dumbbells or a full set of resistance bands was $40 for me, and the same resistances with dumbbells was 10 times that amount. At least, at minimum, 10 times that amount. So they are a lot cheaper, especially if you don't know how much weight you want to be lifting or you need to be lifting to challenge yourself. Resistance bands are a great place to start because you get the full, usually they come in a set of resistance bands rather than just one band. So you can find what weight is the correct one for you. The other thing is they are only providing resistance when they're under tension. So for setting up and putting them away, you don't have to be lugging weights around and setting them on shelves or wherever you have them stored. Much easier to use these and pick them up, put them down especially while you're tired after working out. Third thing with them is that they're really portable. I really like how inexpensive, portable, and you can use them pretty much anywhere because they're not big and bulky. You can still get an effective workout, you can still get an effective resistance from this, even if it's a little bit less than ideal. For the resistance curve, it will still build you muscle, still build you strength. So I'm not gonna say one is the clear winner over the other. I think they both have their pros and cons, but you have to decide for yourself which of these factors is really the most benefit to me, or what's the most benefit to you, I should say. So give it a try. I would see which of these works best for the workout you want to do, and let me know in the comments what you decide. If you like these live streams and want to see more, I host workout streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So now what we're going to do is go into a follow-along workout using both resistance bands and dumbbells. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll walk us through how to do different exercises with that. So we're going to be starting by doing some lower body exercises. So, I'm just gonna adjust these dumbbells up a little bit. We're gonna start out with a lunge. So for this, I'm gonna use dumbbells because I find that it's a little hard to set this one up with resistance bands because I'm gonna be stepping forward with one foot. I have no place to anchor that band to. So with dumbbells, one in each hand, you're going to step forward and kneel down and then back. And then same thing on the other side. Step forward, kneel down, and then back. This is working the muscles in the front of the thigh. We're going to be trying to keep your upper body up, doing as many as you can. Try and get over 5, but if you can, aim for somewhere around 10 reps. So each time you do both legs, that'd be 1 rep. So we're gonna go ahead and do them together, grabbing on to a set of dumbbells, or if you just have one dumbbell, you can hold it right in front of your chest and do it that way instead. Sort of 2 hands right like this. So going 1 and 1, 2, ooh, and 2, 3. You should feel this in the top of your thigh. 3. Really trying to bend your knee, putting your weight on your front leg. 4, and 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. 3 more. 7, 8, 8, 9, and one more. 9 should feel burning in your muscle right now. 10, and 10, and relax. Excuse me. So we just worked the front of the thigh. Now we're going to work the back of the thigh and back of the hips. So for this, actually I'm going to use the resistance band. So for the resistance band, I'm gonna make a loop by hooking the carabiners together. I'm gonna step into the middle of that loop and then pull this up to my waist. So this is pulling down right at my hips. And then my feet are stepping in the middle of the band, so holding it in place. From here, you're gonna bridge your hips up, feel that band pulling you down, squeezing your hips, squeezing your glutes. There we go. So from here, pushing your hips up, bridging up, feeling it right here in the back of your hips, and then relax. So pushing up, hold for a second, and then slowly down. That band is providing that resistance on your glutes. So trying to go for 10 of these. If you can't do 10, try a lighter band. Now in this, try to keep your heels digged into the ground. The nice thing about the band is if your heels come up, the band won't stay down. So it teaches you to keep those heels firmly placed on the ground. So you're pushing down through your feet, bridging your hips up, gauging those glutes. relax. So that was set number 1. I'm gonna try for 2 more sets for a total of 3. So when we work at building muscle with a piece of equipment, we wanna repeat the exercise to build more muscle in one workout. Because when we do sets where we repeat the exercise, we want to try and get multiple sets per workout and then multiple workouts per week, because that's what builds more muscle over time. So going back to our second set of lunges, 1 dumbbell in each hand. And from here, you're gonna step forward with 1 foot, kneel down, and then the same thing on the other foot. Step forward, kneel down, and that's 1 rep. Trying for 10 of these. Kneel and up, kneel and up. That's 2. Keep on going. Try and keep that steady pace. Halfway there. I find these hit the quad muscles the most for me, more than squats, for me personally. 2 more. 9, 1 more. 10 and 10. And relax. Excuse me a moment. Now, if you ever need to add resistance with the bands, what you can do is just double up with the bands and hook them together like so. So if you feel like it's not challenging enough, try 2 bands instead of 1, especially because sometimes it's hard to, you need more than 1 color band, but not enough to go to the next color. So sometimes you can add a lighter band in to get an in-between weight. So, going back to the ground, doing resistance band bridges. So this is a hip bridge. It works the muscles in your glutes, in the back of your hips. So, band underneath your feet, and then pulling the top part of the band up to your hips. So it should be right in the crease of your hip, right where your belt is. From here, you're gonna, hang on 1 sec, to make sure that the band doesn't slip from under your feet. And then from here, pushing down through your heels, bridging your hips up. You want your knees about 90 degrees. So we're gonna try for 10 of these together. Bridging up, keep your knees apart, and back down. Feel that really working in your glutes. Three more. Last one, and relax. And take a second, catch your breath. say the leg exercises always take out more out of my system. Whew. So I need a little bit of time to recover between them from going to one to the next. Just taking a minute, letting my legs relax, and then going into the third set. So if you like this sort of workout and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And if you hit the bell, it'll alert you when we're going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so that you can be here to work out with us live. All right, trying for one more set of legs. So grabbing dumbbells. And after legs, we're gonna do some upper body exercises. So from here, hands at your sides, one foot steps forward, bending the knee, kneeling down to the ground into a lunge. So we're stepping forward, kneeling down, coming back up. All right, and one. Working the top of the thigh, really trying to bend the knee as much as possible. Now, you might not be able to do as many on this last set. That is okay. Just do as many as you can. Three more. Two more. Last one. And 10. And relax. And going for hip bridges next. This is our last leg exercise. So using the resistance band. I really like this one because I feel like it hits those glutes more than any other exercise I've done. So, pulling the band up to your hips. So it's pulling straight down on your hips. Heels dug into the ground, knees apart. Pushing down through your heels, bridging your hips up. You can have your hands here just holding the band right in place so it doesn't go anywhere. Try and do 10 bridges. And relax. I think that was 10. And that is our lower body exercises for today. Now we're going to work the upper body using a combination of resistance bands and dumbbells. So for the bands, we're going to start out with a row. So I'm going to pull these back apart. Now for the band, you're going to need a point to anchor the band to for this. Now, all these band sets come with a door anchor. It's a piece of fabric just like this with a stopper on the end. So what you're going to do is put that stopper in a door, close the door on that stopper, and then loop the band through this loop just like that. So the band's in the loop. So that's how you're going to do this if you don't have something to wrap the band around. So, key features of this, so you want the band right at chest height. So right at nipple level, right here. Then make sure it's even on both sides, because you wouldn't want one side bigger than the other. From here, you want your arms all the way out in front of you, so you don't want to be here. You want to let the band pull your arms out and away, because that's our most stretch position. We want to make sure there's tension in that position. From here, pulling back, pinch your shoulder blades together, pull to your rib cage. So this is going to be a standing row. So shoulder blades, to the rib cage. Now my thumbs aren't pointed up or in, they're sort of at in between, so they're at a diagonal. So I'm sort of like this. I'm not flat, I'm not vertical, I'm right in between, just a natural pull. All right, we're gonna try and do at least 10 of these together. So pulling back to the rib cage, and then all the way back forward. You want to feel that in your upper back, working the lats, the traps, rhomboids, all those little retracting muscles around your shoulder blade. Pulling to that rib cage. I'm pulling straight back as much as possible. Now, if you can do more than 10, that's totally fine. Go to where you feel tired in the muscle. Just make sure you're going all the way back to the front, all the way where I'm stretched out forward. One more. I like the bands on this one because I feel like I can really feel it much more in my shoulders at that resistance. Eventually when I'm pulling down here, if I'm doing it with the dumbbell, I feel like my low back can feel unstable, and that makes it hard to really focus on what's going on up here in my upper back. Now I still need high tension doing that. So that's why I have the double bands, to really provide a lot of extra tension. Now I would leave that band anchored to the door if you have it, because now we're going to work the muscles in the upper chest. So for that, I'm going to grab a bench. And I'm going to put this to 20 degrees. Now, if you don't have a bench, you can do this laying down in the bed, and it will just be a little bit less of an incline. That's okay though. Still will work the chest muscles laying down on a bed or something, or even if you have just a flat bench, that's okay too. So for this, we're going to work the chest muscles as well as the tricep, which runs along the back of the arm here, and then some of the front of the shoulder. So what you're going to do is have the dumbbells right at the inside of your chest, and then from here, push your chest out, and then push up, straight up from your shoulder. You don't want to let the dumbbells come in together. You want to keep them right over the top of your shoulder. We're going to try for 10 reps of this. So you go down, tap the inside of your chest, and back up, and that's 1 rep. Now I'm not locking my elbow as I do this. I come up to a slight bend in the elbow to keep tension on this muscle the whole time. So it's going to be down and tap. The elbows can go a little bit down towards your rib cage. That's fine. Don't feel like you have to keep your elbows up high at shoulder level. That's comfortable for some people, but some people it's easier to have your elbows drift a little down to your rib cage, that is totally fine. Try and keep a straight tempo. So just keep a particular rhythm. So you're not going too fast, not too slow, just consistently up and down. Once you're not able to do that, you can stop. If you feel like you're slowing down, that's a good sign that your muscle's fatiguing. You've gotten to the point where you're building muscle with those dumbbells. I'm gonna do one more. And relax. I like to put these on my knees and then stand back up. And those were our 2 upper body exercises that cover a majority of the pushing muscles and pulling muscles using a combination of dumbbells and bands. Now, if you've been working out with me, you might feel a little bit hot, a little bit sweating. Make sure you're staying hydrated, but sweating is a normal thing to happen. So it means you're working hard, your body's working to stay cool. So, just like lower body, we're going to be doing multiple sets of upper body too. So using the band, I want this right at chest height for a row. And we're going to eliminate one of the difficulties of a band by stepping away to where I feel tension pulling me forward, even at this fully extended position. That resistance curve, so we're reducing that resistance curve problem a little bit. You need to just drop this down slightly. From here, pulling back to your rib cage. So shoulder blades come back to your rib cage and then relax. Try and go for at least 10 of these. If you can do more, that's totally fine. Do as many as you can feel comfortable, keeping good form. So going all the way back forward. Two more. And relax. You might feel burning in the muscle. That's totally normal. That's metabolites building up in your muscle, that building up that fatigue. It's a byproduct of working. And that's a good sign, actually. It means you're working hard. You're feeling that burn in that muscle. It will actually help build that muscle up. It signals your body that that needs to be stronger. Whew. So we're really cranking through today, or we're working hard today. We're gonna try for 2 more sets of upper body. So we're doing 3 sets of lower, 3 sets of upper body. So going back to the dumbbells. I just turn this just a little bit. So this is set number 2 of an incline press. Now, I like this one with dumbbells over the bands, because with the bands, it's really hard to find an anchor point and really hard to find an anchor point. It slides around on the bottom of the bench. It doesn't really stay consistent, and you want that consistent line of pull. So to do it like this in an incline is very difficult with the band, but much easier with the dumbbell. So from here, pushing up to the front. Feeling that right in the front of your chest and those upper fibers, the back of your arm. Chest out as you do this to really open up that chest, to fully stretch out that chest muscle. And that's where that muscle is being built up the most, is in that lengthened, stretched position. Breathing in, breathing out. Don't hold your breath as you're doing this. And last one. And relax. You can bring them in and to your knees and stand up. And that was set number 2 of upper body. So we have one more set to go. Doing rows for the last set. So upright, doing upright row. Make sure the bands are even and at chest height, right at that mid chest level. From here, let the bands pull you all the way forward and then step back to where you feel that tension in the band, even at that forward position. So it should be tight like a guitar string. From here, pulling back with your shoulder blades, then to your rib cage. So I'm pulling back and back. I should feel that between my shoulder blades as I pull back. So I'm working all those muscles in my upper back. Two more. One more. And last one, and relax. I'm going to where I feel that tension in the muscle. As I'm pulling, it's more and more difficult as I go, and that's what I'm looking for, is hitting that point where I'm not able to keep going. And that's what's gonna build that muscle. It's the going close to what's called muscle failure, where a muscle is reaching its limit on how much it can pull. So if you have done this before, you want, or if you have words, give me a moment. Excuse me. So the goal is to reach just below that limit. So say you could do 10 reps maximum, going for 8 or 9 reps. Or if you can do 12 reps maximum, doing 10 or 11 reps. That's why I say aiming for somewhere around 10. Usually that's a good spot for people to aim for. That way we're within range usually for people to get right underneath that limit. It's harder the heavier you go, the fewer reps you do, the harder it is to approach that limit. So we can set the bands to the side. That was our last set of resistance bands, pulls, resistance bands standing row rather. Now we're gonna do one more set of chest with the dumbbells. So grabbing your dumbbells, and from here, kicking up, and dumbbells go right to the inside of your chest. From here, pressing up towards the ceiling, go down, tap, and then back up. Try and go for around 10 of these. One more. And relax. So that was our full workout, combining resistance bands and dumbbells. So if you like this sort of content and want to see more, doing more follow along workouts, go ahead and hit subscribe and that bell icon. I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 o'clock Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So hope to see you guys there.